the second baseman.
Welcome inside the GCU softball stadium. I'm Cheyenne Rose, along Kyle Borg. Welcome to Game 2 of the doubleheader for Friday night in the Lopes Up Classic. Lopes just lost to UNLV by a score of 7-1. So the Lopes look to turn things around here, Kyle, with this game against the Grizz.
Number 17.
Yes, Cheyenne, that is 100% correct, as the Lopes struggled a little bit, just getting 2 hits on Jenny Bressler, who went the full 7 innings for UNLV in that first game tonight. A couple of walks, though, and a couple of hit batters did get runners on base. They were able to bring around 1 run. Unfortunately, unable to get a couple. They only put runners in scoring position on 3 occasions.
Well, Kyle, why don't we look at the Sanderson Ford 3 keys to the game here?
3 keys for game number 2 is going to be capitalize. When you get those runners in scoring position, you got to take advantage and you got to bring them around. Second key is pitching. The first 2 pitchers for the Lopes in game 1, Morrison did not complete an inning, and Coons only went 1 1/3 before Sydney Sahar, the freshman, came in to really shut it down and held the Rebels to just 2 runs. And then the final key to the game is score tonight. When they get those runners on base, you got to score a couple more runs, as it's going to probably take more than 1 to beat this Rebels team. As Brianna Aguilar gets settled in, Cheyenne, she's getting her first start of the season.
Yeah, it's great to see her out here tonight. The Lopes did have 3 pitchers used in the last game, and that pitch from Aguilar grounded there. But an error off the glove there to allow the runner to get safely to first.
Yeah, Fifield starting at short in game 2, couldn't quite get there and hold on to that one. So already 1 runner on base for Montana, who come into this one at 10-10 on the season. They beat St. Joe's in game 1 today at 2:30. They took on St. Joseph's and able to come away with 1 win today. Looking for win number 2. Of course, the Lopes looking to split games also today.
Yeah, Lopes looking for their first win here in this tournament and their 5th win overall. And that first pitch in for ball number 1 to Sellers.
All-time versus Montana. The Lopes, they are 3-1. They have had good luck against this Grizzlies team. They met twice last season here at the GCU softball stadium, and the Lopes able to come away with both wins in those 2 meetings. They won on February 8th in doubleheader 6-2 and then 5-2. So we'll see if the Lopes have more in the same in store.
And that pitch in for ball number 2. So quickly Sellers ahead in the count, 2-0 with a runner on first and nobody out here. That one fouled back, first strike number 1. Lopes looking to get things going early. As we mentioned, UNLV, that game happened 30 minutes prior to this one. And Lopes just allowed UNLV to get 3 on back in the first of that game. So Lopes looking to capitalize early. And that one in for ball number 3, so a 3-1 count here to Sellers. That one hit and fouled back, so her count will go full at 3-2. And that pitch will be ball number 4. So the Grizz now has a runner in scoring position, as Sellers will move to first and Becker to second with no outs. Holland going and talking to Aguilar. Just a quick meeting here a little early on to settle down Aguilar. As you mentioned, Kyle, this is her first start of the season.
She has made 2 appearances, however, throwing 3 2/3 with a 2.45 ERA. She's given up 4 hits. Only 1 run. That run was earned. She's got a pair of strikeouts, and opponents just batting .286 against her. She hasn't given up an extra base hit on the season yet in those 3 1/3 innings. So getting Aguilar back into the swing of things, it looks like, and now giving her the go-ahead in game number 2. So yet to see Ryan Denhart, normally one of the main starters for the Lopes in these tournaments, but we'll probably see her maybe a little bit later and definitely more than likely tomorrow.
Yeah, as you mentioned, have not seen Denhart at all today. Nice getting to see these people like Aguilar and Sehar getting to play early on in day 1. Aguilar takes that in, and that first pitch will be strike number 1 as she fouls it off down the right first base side.
The Lopes have 5 games this weekend, and then they'll stay home next week for 6 more before a 3-game homestand to start WAC play. So 14 straight home games for the Lopes. They are not going anywhere anytime soon, and that's exactly the kind of schedule you want if you're looking to get your season back on track. Just 4 wins for the Lopes. Struggled early on, but of course they play quality competition night in and night out. They do not schedule easy, and for good reason. They got a good team all the way around. It just hasn't quite produced the runs they were hoping to early on, but as of late, the run's starting to come a little bit more last weekend, and not so much in game 1, but possibly here in game number 2.
And that ball will be hit through the hole in the right field side. So now the bases are loaded for the Grizz, and yeah, Kyle, definitely, as we mentioned in our first game earlier, Lopes coming back to beat Cal Poly on their second game on Friday. So definitely a possibility here to do that for the Lopes. And the Lopes having a few rallies late in the innings to get close to getting more wins. As you mentioned, always having those quality opponents.
Last season, Brianna Aguilar in conference play, she led the conference in ERA. Once conference play started, she was at a sub-1 ERA with a .70. So Brianna Aguilar does not give up a ton of runs.
Up in that first pitch from Aguilar in for ball number 1. And that pitch just a little outside will be ball number 2. So if you're the Lopes here, you got to be a little careful giving the runner a 2-0 count here with bases loaded. You don't want the first run in to be a walk. And that will be in for strike number 1. So now they count 2-1 here on Johnson. And that one swung on and missed. But that ball does get behind Holland, but able to keep it in play, allowing the ball to stay in front of her, not allowing any of the runners to score in advance. And that will even up Johnson's count at 2-2.
Montana went 3-1 last weekend.
And that hit, jumping over it to keep herself safe. That ball gets out. But they will call the second run to come across the plate safe at the plate, despite a great tag being applied there by Holland. So early on, the Grizz now have 2 across and still have 2 runners on with no outs here. And we'll take another look at that one here. See that ball hit just beyond the gloves there of the second baseman and first baseman. And that one I guess Sellers being able to get across home before the tag was applied there by Holland. Coach Ann Pearson now coming out to...
Might be trying to argue about interference, or maybe that ball got a piece on the way through. Maybe ask him to get together with the fellow umpire, see if somebody else saw something. As you
now see the
mound
umpires
meeting.
talking here. So a little bit of a similar start if these, at least that second run is to stand here, Kyle, that the Lopes had in their first game.
Absolutely, and we'll see if anything changes. It would definitely benefit the Lopes if they were able to get at least one of these runs back. And nothing's really changed for GCU defense-wise. The outfield stays the same to start this one. Nicoletti, Cavarubio, Reed from left to right. Bishop still at first, Olsen still at second. The only real difference is Fifield moved to short and Torville moved over to third, and Holland still behind the plate. So that's really only changes in the Lopes defense so far here for game number 2. We'll see if who comes in and at what point they end up entering.
We see that conversation still going on between the umpire and head coach Kate Ann Pearson. Head coach Ann Pearson.
There you go.
Words are hard today, guys. I'm sorry. So it looks like that second run across will stand. So it is still 2 runs for Montana, 2-on with no outs here in the top of the first. And that pitch from Aguilar will be ball number 1. That one a little high for ball number 2. Big swing on a miss there for strike number 1. So now a 2-1 count here for Jaden. Two runners in scoring position here for the Grizz. That one fouled back into the netting. So her count will move to 2-2. Still no outs here in the top of the first. Lopes trying to cut any damage that they can here. And that will be ball 3, so Jaden's count will move to full here. There is an empty base to put her on here at first, as the runners are on second and third for the Grizz. And that one will be hit as Fifield slides but misses it. And that will allow the 2 runs to score, and then on that throw to home, allow Jaden to reach to second. So now a 4-0 lead with no outs here in the top of the first.
This Montana team has played very well, of course, this season to start. Just 10-10, but last year, 25-31, 10-8 in the Big Sky. They finished third. They went to the tournament back in 2017. after winning the Big Sky Conference. So really no strangers to winning.
Yeah, and they're showing that here already early on in the first, having 4 runs put up with no outs.
And their head coach is 16 years total experience, 15 at the D1 level. This is her 3rd season at the helm of this Montana team, and she's been in the dugout for every single victory that Montana softball program has ever had.
That's insane.
Yes, it is. So
that's what you call good luck right there.
Getting into the head coaching role after 13 years of being an assistant and coming up to the D1 level, and she has continued the success that Montana has had over recent years, including, you know, making the tournament in her first season.
And that hit by Canoes will be to right field, allowing the runner to advance. So now runners on the corners, still no outs here for Montana. Wisegram up to bat now.
16, Brooklyn Wisegram.
Wisegram, the right-handed sophomore. That first pitch to Wisegram in for strike number 1. And that will be strike number 2 as Wisegram set to bunt, and that went right past her. So Wisegram has a 0-2 count here. Bobo looking for out number 1, and that one was high but swung on and missed. So there you have it. Bobo has out number 1 here in the top of the first. So Montana still has runners on the corner, but now has 1 down. Julie Phelps up to bat, the freshman from Riverside, California.
7th batter of the inning so far for the Grizz. Double play ball here would be huge.
And that the runner from first is caught stealing, so just like that, out number 2 recorded here for the Lopes.
Saw Holland do that a couple times in game 1. First attempt, just not in time. It was very close. Second attempt got her. Third time she threw down last game was a little bit of an off throw, a little bit over the head.
Overthrow, yep.
Ended up scoring a run and advancing the runner to third. But that's a great throw.
Great throw from Holland. And that second pitch from Aguilar, and now her count to Phelps is 1-1. That one fouled back for strike number 2, so now 1-2 count here for Phelps. Phelps, the 8th batter here in this inning. Still only in the top of the first. 4 runs here for Montana. Have a runner in scoring position on third in Jaden. And that one high and away, so that will even her count at 2-2.
Big pitch coming from Aguilar right here with a 2-2 out count.
And that one just past the glove of Torville and Fifield. So it will be gotten by Nicoletti, who ran up, but that will allow 1 more run to score and allow Phelps to safely get to first.
The left fielder, number 4, Anne-Marie Petrino.
5th run of the inning. All but one of those is going to be earned, it looks like. Or 2, excuse me. That last one's not going to be an earned run. So the 9th batter of the inning for Montana. See if they turn the order over here in the top of the first, or if the Lopes are able to get out of it and try and do some damage from the plate.
And that pitch in from Aguilar was strike number 1. So doing her job to get the Lopes to the plate. And then even up the count there at 1-1. And that pitch will be hit. And they will get out number 3 as Olsen will throw it to Bishop. Grizz will strand 1 runner on, but get 5 across.
The Lope Shop is proud to carry products from GCBC, the Grand Canyon Beverage Company. Enjoy this tasty line of coffee, tea, and energy drinks from GCU in the comfort of your own home. Now available at lopeshops.gcu.edu/GCBC. So if you want to brew your own coffee.
Yeah, they have Keurig K-Pods. So if you want to be lazy and have coffee, because before coffee, who has the energy to do anything?
Me.
Okay, well, not all of us are Kyle Porter.
I don't drink coffee, so.
Oh, yeah. You also don't drink Stampede.
No, not an energy drink person either. I like lemonade, though.
I say as I choke on my Stampede. Lemonade is good.
So the top of the order, 1, 2, and 3, not going to change for the Lopes here in game 2. It'll be Nicoletti, Torville, Bishop. We'll see if they can get something going. Of course, in the last game, game 1, Torville was able to walk and then was left at second base.
Once again, pitching for Montana, number 17, Michaela Hood. Leading off for GCU, the left fielder, number 24, Gianna Nicoletti.
So Gianna Nicoletti will be leading it off here for the Lopes, the left-handed sophomore. First pitch into Nicoletti will be strike 1.
Michaela Hood, she's 3-4 on the season in 12 appearances, 1.90 ERA, 59 innings of work, 49 hits, 23 runs, 16 of those earned with 55 strikeouts and 23 walks. Opponents batting just .221 against her.
And that will be ball 1, so evening up Nicoletti's count at 1-1. And that will be called strike 2. So now Nicoletti behind in count 1 and 2.
Nicoletti and Bishop over the weekend were very, very good for the Lopes since moving into that spot in the 1-3 batting order for them.
Yeah, Nicoletti leads the team in batting average at .357.
They combined for 16 hits, 6 runs, and 6 RBIs.
Nicoletti also has 20 hits and leads the team with 20 hits as well.
Absolutely. So a good weekend last weekend, and they are 1-2 in the batting average for the Lopes.
So Nicoletti's count goes to full, so 3-2 count here. Looking to stay alive, and she does that, fouling that one off. So Nicoletti is staying alive here, trying to get that leadoff person on for the Lopes in the bottom of the first, as they have some work to do, Kyle, down by 5.
Just a little bit of work, but hey, you got some innings to work with. You don't need to score all 5 here in the first. You
Definitely.
can take your time if you wanted to. Just got to plate a couple, as Nicoletti doing a good job staying alive. Talking to Coach Pearson before the games tonight, we asked her about Gianna's move to the top of the order, and she said, plain and simple, she's been great. She gets on base. She does what you want your leadoff batter to do, and we'll see if she can do it here. She's working the count deep here after going down 1-2. Now she's worked it back full.
And still staying alive here. She fouls that one off into the netting here. And that one hit over the glove of the pitcher, but not thrown, not in time, as we see that speed from Nicoletti. So does her job after a great at-bat, keeping herself alive, and is standing safely at first.
The third baseman.
And Gianna Nicoletti's got some speed. You got to be careful, and those slow bouncers and slow rollers are going to be trouble for infields all season long. She also leads the team with 4 stolen bases in 4 attempts. See if they put her in motion.
As you see her starting to run there. Savannah Torville now at bat here for the Lopes. And that first pitch to Torville in for ball number 1. And that one will be hit right to the second baseman, and that will get 2 outs, as it was hit straight there for the first out in Torville, and then not being able to get back to the bag in Nicoletti. So just like that, 2 outs off of that one hit.
Great play by the second baseman, Canoose, to double him up. Great catch, and then fired it quickly before Nicoletti could get back to first. And we'll see if Lily Bishop can get something going for the Lopes with 2 outs here.
First pitch to Bishop. And for ball number 1. Big swing on a miss there by Bishop, so her count evens up at 1-1. So Lopes, 2 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the first. And that pitch will be down low for ball number 2, so Bishop's count will be a 2-1 count. And looking to get some stuff going on here for the Lopes early on in this bottom first. And that one fouled back, so her count will now be even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that will be ball number 3, so Bishop's count will move to full. And that will be ball number 4, so Lily Bishop on with a walk. And that will bring Fifield up to bat.
Number 20, Kristen Fifield.
See if the Lopes can do some damage with 2 outs. UNLV was able to do it a couple of times back in game 1. See if the Lopes can do it here.
That'll be ball number 1 there to Kristen Fifield. Fifield came in to pinch hit back in the bottom part of the UNLV game and got a single straight up the middle. And that'll be strike 1, so even up Fifield's count at 1-1. That one will be hit high and out of bounds, but caught by the third baseman for out number 3. So got 1 hit, got a double play, walked, and then got the 3rd out there. So the Lopes scoreless as the Grizz has a 5-run lead, and you'll get more softball in the top of the 2nd right here on GCU TV.
As a teacher, your calling was always to make a difference and positively impact the future. You live with a deep sense of purpose and strive to inspire generations of change. GCU's online Masters of Education degree program gives you the skills you need to grow and develop your career. You're not just inspiring future generations of leaders, you're giving them the tools they need to succeed.
Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/online.
Softball Stadium for our second game in the Lopes Up Classic.
Kylie Becker.
Kylie Becker to start for the Grizz. And as we mentioned earlier, Kyle, GCU baseball currently playing just a little bit up on campus at Barrazzle Field. Currently on top of Pacific 8-1 and then top of the 7th.
Pearson Hall getting his first Friday night start of the season, looking pretty good. I think he's still on.
He is still on
the mound. Yes, he is.
And that first pitch there to Becker in for ball 1. Montana sent 9 to the plate at the top of the first, so the order does go back around, starting at the top with Becker, as that pitch will be in for ball number 2.
Of course, volleyball up 2-0 in their second game of their doubleheader against North Greenville. They took down Vanguard earlier this afternoon, and then winning set number 3 right now, looking to close that one out in a 3-set sweep before they take on Menlo and number 5 UC Irvine tomorrow.
Yep, and that will be in for strike number 1, so a 2-1 count. As we mentioned all day, Kyle, a lot of great things going on for GCU athletics. Men's volleyball, super great. Men's basketball playing tomorrow, and then women playing as well, looking to clinch the number 2 seed for the tournament. A lot of great sports going on. Becker's count now a 3-1 count. And that will be ball number 4. So a leadoff walk here to start the top of the second for the Grizz.
First baseman, Tammy Sellers.
Becker came around to score back in the first after she reached on an E6. And now back on first base for the second time today after that walk.
And now Sellers, who's looking for her first hit, as she was also walked her first time at bat.
Cami Sellers leads the team in batting average and on base percentage, and she's got 6 doubles with 12 RBIs this season.
So definitely a dangerous player to be facing for the Lopes, and a great player to have if you're the Grizz, as that first pitch is in for strike number 1 there to Sellers. Can be strike number 2. So still looking for the first out here in the top of the second. As that one hit straight to second on that ground ball. Got the out at second, so the leadoff runner is gone. But Sellers safely standing at first, so now 1 out
Shortstop,
here
number 3,
with 1 on.
McGrath.
Nicely done by Lorianne Olson. Takes it herself to get at least 1. Didn't have a ton of time really to flip it over to Fifield. So smart play in the middle of the infield by Lorianne Olson.
McGrath now at bat for Montana. Had a base hit her first time back in the first, the right-handed sophomore. Her first pitch fouled back, so strike number 1. So her count goes 0-1 here. And that one bounced over the head of Torville and bouncing foul. So that will be a base hit there for McGrath as Seller advances to second.
It was a high chopper.
Yeah.
not a ton of a chance really to get that one. So not a
Not
lot you can
really.
do about that if you're Torville at third.
Morgan Johnson.
Just took a really big hop. But a good play from that left side of the infield and Nicoletti out and left to just make sure that it doesn't get away from anybody, and Sellers has to stay at second.
And that will be ball number 1 there for the first pitch to Johnson. That one hit straight back there to Bobo, and what looks like it should have been out number 3 by a great extending grab there by Bishop. Thrown from 5 to 3, but the runner standing safely there at first. A great throw there from Torville to get it to Bishop. Just slightly late there, I guess.
Wow.
Wow.
Great stretch.
Great stretch. Wow was a very appropriate statement there, Kyle.
I mean, I don't have a lot to say about that one. Just
That one hit straight to Bishop, so she'll take it to the back herself to record out number 3.
it was really good speed from Johnson to get down there, though, on that last one.
Definitely. So the Grizz will leave 2 on, but some great fielding there by the Lopes to get those last 2 outs. So we will head to the bottom of the second.
Get the best gear to show off your Lope pride. Go to lopeshops.gcu.edu to find everything GCU, from the newest apparel to the coolest accessories. Use promo code GCUTV25 to get 25% off just for being a GCU TV viewer. Let's paint the valley purple and Lopes up.
And let's take a look at that last play there. Hit just a great effort there. That ball being hit straight back to Bobo. Bobo throwing it to third in Torville, and Torville throwing it straight to Bishop. But unfortunately, the the first base umpire calling the runner safe at first.
Leading off for GCU.
So see what Kaylee Holland can do. She'll lead it off for the Lopes, trying to get something rolling.
Up to the Lopes have Holland, Zufelt, and Reed due up in this order.
Holland went 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch. Or 0 for 1, excuse me, with a hit by pitch. She also was the lone Lopes run in that first one.
And first pitch to Holland in for strike number 1. That one, a nice strong hit past the glove of the pitcher, and will roll back into center field. So just like that, Holland gets her first hit of this game. And the Lopes have the leadoff runner on once again here in the bottom of the second.
18, Olivia Zufelt.
That will bring up Olivia Zufelt. Big swing on a miss there by Zufelt, so strike number 1. Zufelt squares to bunt, but she'll bounce that one back, and back to first will go Holland, and Zufelt back to the plate. So now Zufelt has an 0-2 count. That one will be down and outside for ball number 1. So 1-2 count here to Zufelt. That one fouled off by Zufelt back into the wall. So her count will remain at 1 and 2. Good job by Zufelt trying to stay alive here. Get some momentum going as the Lopes have 5 runs to get back here. Fouls that one back into the netting. So again, her count will remain at 1 and 2, keeping herself alive here. Taking a long look in here. And a big swing on and miss there by Zufelt for out number 1. So that will bring up Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed.
So Lopes have 1 out and 1 on. And that will be ball 1 to Reed. That will be strike 1, so even up Reed's count at 1 and 1. And that will be ball number 2, so Reed ahead of them count 2 and 1. Lopes looking to get some of the damage done that was done in the top of the first, as Montana put up 5. And that will be out number 2, but will allow Holland to advance. So with that hit straight to second base and being able to throw into first to get
Second
out
baseman,
number 2.
Number 21, Lorianne Olson.
So now Lorianne Olson up to bat here for the Lopes. Lopes have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and that will be high for ball 1.
It was a good smart play by Canoose at second base on that last one. Not trying to do too much, just getting the sure out at first base.
That one fouled back there by Olson. So Olson's count will move to 1 and 1. Big swing on a miss there by Olson for strike number 2. So she falls behind in count 1 and 2. Lopes have a runner on in scoring position in Holland. That one will be fouled back, so keeping herself alive here. So her count will remain at 1 and 2. That one fouled back. So again, nice job by Olson keeping herself alive.
Wait for your pitch to hit, just staying alive. It's a good at-bat so far from Olson.
And called safe there, being able to hold that one back by the third base umpire. So her count will go to 2 and 2. So Lorianne Olson, the senior from Tucson, Arizona, doing a good job of keeping herself alive at this at bat. And she'll hit that one over the glove of the pitcher, which will allow 1 run to score as it goes back. The throw to home is not in time, which will then allow Olson to get to second. So just like that, the Lopes got 1 back and are still alive here with a little bit of a 2-out rally. Again, still having a runner in scoring position. And now in Olson, as she'll get an RBI of bringing in that first run across for the Lopes.
Kaylee Holland being that first run again for the Lopes. Let's see if they can bring home another.
Hit by Cavarubio.
After
Straight to
previous
Becker.
score,
And able to throw it to Sellers to record out number 3, but Lopes chipping away, starting to chip away at that lead here as they got 1 back. So Lopes will leave 1 on, but get 1 across. So now a 5-1 game. And you will have more softball and the top of the 3rd when we come back right here on GCU TV.
Came through drippin', drip, drip. Came through drippin', drip, drip. Came through drippin', drip, drip. Diamonds on my wrist, they drippin'. Ice. Came through drippin', drip, drip. Came through drippin'.
Mountain Dew Ice, a clear, refreshing lemon lime dew.
Curiosity fuels you. So when you're ready for a fulfilling new career, let your curiosity fuel that change. Grand Canyon University's online degree programs in technology make it convenient for you to achieve your dream. GCU teaches you how to plan for innovation. By applying that knowledge to today's most challenging problems, you're helping to build a better tomorrow. Find your purpose at GCU, where advanced technologies drive education. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/online.
Rock a showstopper, beats, get it crunk and wired. Wave your hands, scream louder. Everybody here, get it out of control.
For the Grizzlies, second baseman.
Welcome back inside the GCU Softball Stadium as we have the top of the 3rd with the Grizz leading 5-1. Lopes able to get 1 run across there in the bottom of the 2nd. Canoes up to bat here for the Grizz. She was 1 for 1 with a base hit single her first time at bat. She fouls that one back off into the wall. So her count will go to 0-1. That one fouled back, so her count will quickly move to 0-2. Lexi Canoes has a 158 average with 38 at-bats and 6 runs. And she'll hold up on that one. Looks like she'll get hit on the hand, so she'll make it to first with a hit by pitch there. So once again, the Grizz has a runner on with no outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Center fielder, number 16, Brooklyn Wisegram.
So Brooklyn Wisegram now up to bat. She's looking for her first hit of the night as she struck out back in first. She squares to bunt, but will hold back as it'll be strike 1 there. Lopes looking for the first out of this inning. And she'll punt that one. What was straight to Torval, but out of, just hit the outside of her glove. So that will allow Canoes to advance to second and Wisegram to get safely to first. So just like that, the Grizz have a runner in scoring position once again here early on with no outs.
And this is how the big inning back in the first kind of started for the Grizz of Montana. Able to get a couple on due to a couple errors and a walk or two, and we'll see if it's more of the same here in the 3rd.
And that now has Julie Phelps up to bat as she squares to bunt for that first one, but it'll bounce off for strike number 1. So Bobo taking her time here. Pitch count at 50. And that will be ball number 1. So 1-1 count here for Phelps. Julie Phelps from Riverside, California. Squares to find it again. Fouls that one back, so her count will move to 1 and 2. Lopes still looking for out number 1. That one will be fouled off by Phelps, so her count will remain at 1 and 2. Big swing on and miss there. We'll record the first out.
It's a big first out.
Inning, yeah.
Big first out for Aguilar. Good strikeout for her, trying to get some momentum rolling here with runners on first and second. See if that kind of translates for her, or if Montana bounces back and is able to get back on base. They did load the bases a couple of times in the first, so.
Yeah.
But it looks like Aguilar's kind of settled down now after that big first inning, and see if she's in a groove.
Yeah, just up past 50 pitches as that first pitch is swung on and hit center, and then misfielded there, but kept the runners at second and third as it was close by there by Cavarubio.
Yeah, lucky that Montana held up that runner at third.
Yeah.
Now you got the force at every base. If you're the Lopes with one out, you can end the inning on an infield double play, but you never know.
And that will bring Becker back up. She's still looking for her first hit of the day. She reached back in the first on an error and then was walked back in the second. And that first pitch into Becker will be strike number 1.
Baseball's up 9-1 now, bottom 8 with one out over Pacific here in game 1. So they got 2 more games Saturday, Sunday against the same Tigers team. But it does look like for now the baseball team is going to get 1 win tonight.
And that one is going to be hit straight back to Cavarubio, so the ball will be thrown not in time there to Holland. A great throw there by Cavarubio, trying to get it all the way across back to home plate to try and get the runner out at home. But unfortunately that run will score, so now a 6-1 game here with 2 outs. Talked about baseball. Men's volleyball is now in set 4 as they lost set 3 to North Greenville. So Greenville up 6-3 there in set number 4. Lopes lead that 2-1. As that first pitch in is ball 1 to Sellers. Runners on the corners for the Grizz. That is outside for ball number 2. And that one will be hit straight to Olsen, who will field it to Bishop to get the final out. The Grizz will leave 2 on, but will push 1 more across. So now back to having a 5-run lead with a 6-1 game here. And as we head to the bottom of the 3rd.
Catch the latest series from GCU TV, Living as Lopes, Finding Your Purpose. Living as Lopes follows a group of GCU students as they navigate their way through college life and all that it holds, with a few fun twists along the way. Watch new episodes every week on youtube.com/GCU. GCU.
Get to see what it's like to live a day in the life of a GCU student. Some fun adventures on the way. We'll see Hood back out to pitch here for the bottom of the third. Due up is the top of the order in Nicoletti, Torville, and Bishop.
Nicoletti already got a base hit
Mm-hmm.
on the evening here in game number 2.
Leading off the
Well,
bottom of
Torville
the
and
third
Bishop
for
looking for
GCU,
their first hits of the
left
game.
fielder,
So
number
hopefully get to see
24,
those as well
Gianna
here in this
Nicoletti.
half of the inning. That will be strike number 1 on Nicoletti, so her count will even up at 1-1 here. Nicoletti from Fullerton, California, the sophomore outfielder. As that will be in for ball number 2, so a 2-1 count here to Nicoletti. Nicoletti got back in the first, but was erased on a double play as Torville hit it straight to Canoose, and Nicoletti was not able to get back to first in time. And that will be ball number 3, so a 3-1 count here to Nicoletti. Lopes looking to get some of those run back as they got one back in the bottom of the second. As Nicoletti will chop that one foul down the third base side. So Nicoletti coming back to home plate. It's a nice night out here in Phoenix. It was a little hot earlier today. The flag slightly blowing a little inward. But a great
It's cooled
night.
down.
Yeah, it's cooled down. It's a great night.
It's nice
for
when the sun
softball.
goes down,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So much nicer.
It's like 80 degrees today. It was really
It was-
hot.
That one again, foul down the third base side. Hey, I'll take 80 over when we moved in and it was like 115.
Well, yeah, but
I'd
hot is hot.
Hot is hot. It was definitely hot while we were setting things up, getting ready for these games here.
I know. I was outside for like 10 minutes and I was already sweating.
Sweating, and you're like, but
I
now
was
we're
like, what
we're-
is this?
It's Arizona.
I know.
That's what it is.
Don't I
It's
know it.
Arizona. Nicoletti's count now a full 3-2. This pitch comes in bouncing over the head of Hood, and it will go up past slightly into center field. So Nicoletti's on board with her second hit of the night, and the second time being the leadoff person here for the Lopes.
Third baseman, number 26.
So that will bring up the third baseman, Savannah Torville, the right-handed sophomore. From Whittier, California. First pitch in to Torville will be ball number 1. Torville fouling that one off down third base side. It'll roll back into the corner. Again, Lopes just trying to get at least some of that deficit back. And can only do it one hit at a time, so they're doing a nice job. Just trying to string some hits along. So a 1-1 count here for Torville. And that will send Nicoletti
5 for 5.
steal a 5 for 5. A great run there from Nicoletti to steal second. Had a great lead off from first and made that jump to get into second safely. So Lopes now have a runner in scoring position with no outs. And a 2-1 count here to Torville as Torville will bunt that one, but it'll bounce off her bat foul. So now her count will even up at 2-2. And that will be in for ball number 3. So Torville's count now a full 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that one hit and goes between the legs of the shortstop McGrath. So that will allow Nicoletti to get safely to third, and Torville will get to second. So just like that, the Lopes have 2 runners in scoring position with no outs, and that'll bring up Lily Bishop.
Well, that was a routine play at short that it had to have hit a rock or something, because that thing just died and squirted underneath.
Straight between her legs, and it was,
that thing just, it died somewhere on its way to short. I don't know how that happens, but that is an unfortunate play if you're Montana, but a very fortunate play if you're the Lopes, because now you got a chance to possibly plate 3 with 1 swing from Lily Bishop.
And Lily Bishop will foul her first pitch back, so her count will go 0-1. Bishop looking for her first hit of the night as she was walked back in the first. But yeah, as you mentioned, 1 swing from the bat and easily at least plating 2 for the Lopes, so cutting that lead in half for a 6-3 game. As that next pitch to Bishop, ball 1, so her count will be 1-1. And that will be ball number 2, so a 2-1 count here for Bishop. And that ball down low, so a 3-1 count here for Bishop. You mentioned Bishop walked her last time at bat back in the first. So third base Nicoletti, second base Torville, as Bishop will foul that one back to bring her count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Still no outs, and the Lopes have runners in scoring position in second and third. And that ball hit straight into the glove of Becker. So Bishop will be the first out. Nicoletti able to get back to the bag in time before the tag is applied to her. So Grizz only getting 1 out on that play, so nice break there for the Lopes. And that will bring up Kristen Fifield. First pitch to Fifield will be in for strike number 1.
This is what we talked about in the keys to the game, is get on base, and then you got to bring them around to score. So we'll see if the Lopes can do it. Just 1 out. That was a good play from Nicoletti. Good heads-up play by third base as well to a slap attack, as it was close.
It was, as she was expecting that one to go over the head and possibility of her running home, but great work to get back in the bag in time. So a 1-1 count here for Fifield. And that one just outside, so a 2-1 count here. First base is open for a runner. But has only walked 1 so far tonight. And that will be strike number 2 for Fifield, so her count will even up at 2-2.
This is a big at bat and a big 2-2 count, because a strikeout gives you back all the momentum, but a walk or a base hit for the Lopes really gives them a little bit more than they already have. As that one's almost going to take off the head of Holland there on the on-deck circle. Good grief. It was a good swing, though.
Oh,
really good swing.
Great swing.
Great swing.
You could,
a little underneath it.
Could hear the power from that hitting up against the wall. But so Fifield Scout will stay at 2-2, and Fifield will take a big swing on and miss there. So that'll be out number 2, which will bring up Haley Holland, the junior from Surprise, Arizona.
Baseball just now finished as I go check the score. 12-1 GCU baseball over Pacific in game 1 of that 3-game series this weekend. Game 2 tomorrow. I'll have that call. It'll be Dustin McCarville on the bump for GCU, I believe, is who is set to pitch for the Lopes tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock start.
Afternoon, 2 o'clock, and then we'll, of course, have more softball starting
Tomorrow
at 3
afternoon.
o'clock. And that a big hit there by Holland. And there you have it. That one is gone over the wall. So just like that, the Lopes able to bring more across. A absolutely great hit there by Holland over the left field wall. So Kaylee Holland will bring 3 across the plate, including herself. So just like that, we have a 6-4 game here. And let's take another look at that hit by Holland.
She got all of that one. Her first home run of the season, and you give Kaylee Holland a pitch that she can pull down the left field line. She is more often than not going to make you pay for it. And she did that right here. And we got ourselves a whole new game. It's 6-4. You know, we just talked about it with this Fifield at bat, how it was a momentum shifter one way or another. If it was a strikeout or a base hit, you thought Montana after the strikeout, all right, we got
They
2
kinda
outs,
had
we
that
got 2-1,
momentum, yeah.
and then all of a sudden, Kaylee
That
Holland out of
huge hit
nowhere.
there by Holland. So now that momentum shift back to the Lopes. And Sufil will pop that one up and out of foul, but a nice catch there to get that final out, but not before Holland's 3-run shot home run. So a now 6-4 game as we head to the top of the 4th inning. You'll have more softball right here on GCU TV.
Whatever you're craving, head on down there before they close.
Sanderson Ford has been straight up with our customers for the past 65 years. We've climbed to the top with a no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense approach to selling Fords. No games, just straight up to provide the most value and best experience for our customers.
They support local sports and donate generously to local charities with a strong emphasis on kids and military.
If it's important to you to do business with someone who supports our community,
choose Sanderson Ford.
Straight up.
When it came time to look for master's degrees, when I first learned about Grand Canyon, I think as teachers and coaches, you're never done learning. Being a mentor is one of the most important things in my life. For me, it's not always about winning, it's about instilling things in my students and my athletes that'll carry them on. And I'm confident to say that I wouldn't be the same teacher or coach that I am today without that experience at GCU. I'm Joseph, and I graduated with a master's degree online from GCU.
There's a thunder in all of us. Come find your purpose at Grand Canyon University.
Welcome back inside the GCU softball stadium. If you're just joining us, Haley Holland had a great 3-shot home run over the left field wall. So it is now a 6-4 game here for the Lopes. Lopes still trailing by 2, but absolutely great momentum, Kyle, as getting that hit right at the bottom half of the 3rd. Going into the 4th, some great momentum going in there for the Lopes.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, you should rewind and
go
watch the
back
bottom
a little
of the 3rd.
Just watch the bottom of the 3rd.
Watch the bottom of the 3rd, and then hit live, and then come back.
Then you're good.
You've
see what
missed
you
10
needed to
10 runs,
Yep.
you know. This was a really good bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 outs, 2-out home run. Kaylee Holland, now she's got to do some catching.
Her first home run of the season.
And in due time it was. Very timely.
Yes, definitely. Just like that, only down by 2 as the first pitch into McGrath is in for ball number 1. Bobo about at a 60 pitch count here, as that one will be hit straight to Cavarubio, but will fall in between Olsen and Cavarubio, so that will allow McGrath to get safely to first. So again, the Grizz have the leadoff person on. So now the Lopes have a little bit of work to do to try and keep that lead only at 2. If you're the Lopes, don't want any more runs to come across. So now up here for the Grizz is number 27, Morgan Johnson, batting a .257. Has had 35 at-bats. And her count is now, after that last pitch, a 0-2 count. We just passed the 1 hour mark. We have 1 hour, 10 minutes so far here in the top of the fourth, as that ball will get past Holland, allowing McGrath to get safely to second. So once again, the Grizz will have a runner in scoring position with no outs. And Johnson is 1 for 2. She had a base hit with 2 RBIs back in the first, as she will hit that one straight to Torville, but off that bounce, and Bishop will drop the ball, so that will allow Johnson to be standing safely at first. So still no outs here in the top of the fourth.
Catcher, McKenna Jaden.
And that one bunted. A great diving attempt there by Bishop, and that ball overthrown there by Holland to Olsen covering first, and that ball will get past her. So it'll allow one more run to score here for the Grizz and allow the runner to advance to third. So now a 7-4 game. Coach Pearson coming to the mound here, talking to her team. So just a conversation here at the mound. Bobo staying on for the Lopes here in the fourth. So now at bat for the Grizz is Canoes, Lexi Canoes, the junior infielder, as that first pitch to Canoes will be high for ball one.
Now batting for Montana's second baseman, Lexi Canals.
Canoes had a single back in the first, and then in the third was hit by a pitch on her hand. And that will be ball number 2, so a 2-0 count here for Canoes. Montana has 2 runners in scoring position. Johnson on third and Jaden on second, as that one will be bounced, and Torville will run up and make the throw to Bishop to get the first out in time. So the Grizz now have 1 away with 2 on, as Wisegram will come to bat.
That time Bishop able to hold on another strong throw from Savannah Torville from across the diamond. Torville doing a good job at third base so far here tonight.
So the Grizz will have a pinch hitter in number 58, Jessica McAllister, the junior from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Men's volleyball about to start set number 5 against North Greenville.
And that first pitch will be down low for ball number 1.
believe the Lopes men's volleyball team ranked 10th this week. Number 10 in the nation, I believe. So, top 10 team being tested.
And that will be strike one, so that'll even her count up at 1-1. Well, you know, the men's volleyball team has definitely had some good tests when they...
well, one of the toughest conferences in America.
Yeah. Beat number 8 UCLA, number 9 Stanford. Beat a lot of good teams. USC.
They'll get another shot at BYU, who, oh yeah, just swept number 1 Hawaii the other night, which I saw this morning, and I was like, wow. And we knew BYU, number 2 in the nation at the time. They'll be number 1 next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, BYU, great team. They swept the Lopes here. They'll get another shot. Maybe a third shot as well in the conference tournament. You never know.
All very possible. So McAllister's count is now 3-1.
Of course, the Lopes still got to play UC Irvine tomorrow. They're ranked. They'll play Pepperdine again, UCLA again, Stanford again, USC again. They dropped one to Concordia Irvine. They'll have to play them one more time. But after this weekend, the Lopes, they're hitting the road for about a month.
Goodness gracious.
With just 2 home games left. So,
you know, they
keep you updated on that one.
Yeah, they've definitely been putting in their work.
We got a full count now, so.
Yeah, a full count here too, McAllister.
Walk loads the bases.
And that one will be hit into the hole, into right center, all the way rolling back to the wall. And will apply the tag at third as McAllister ran all the way to third. And it was fairly close, but nice work by Torville to apply that tag before she gets there. But McAllister does her job as she allows Johnson and Jaden to come in off that hit. So now a 9-4 game here.
It was a 5-0 lead, then a 5-1 lead, then a 6-1 lead, and then at the bottom of the third, it was a 6-4 lead, and now Montana's had an answer, so we're back up by 5. But, you know, that one went all the way to the wall. You got a great relay throw.
And that one passed the glove of Lily Bishop as she falls, trying to get that one, and it'll roll back into the corner. And that will allow Phelps to slide into second.
But great relay throw on that last one to stop a triple, which I was thinking triple as I saw that one go to the wall.
Definitely, yeah, that one rolled back to the wall.
And it looked like she might have hesitated coming around second a little bit.
I think at that point in time, you know, you have 2 outs now. Even though you did get 3 more across, it's always better safe than sorry.
I like it. I like trying to stretch that to a triple because you still get the 2 runs.
True. As
Torville makes another out.
Yeah. Great out there by Torville to throw to Bishop to record out number 3. So the Grizz will leave 1 on, but not before they get 3 more across. So now a 9-4 game as we go to the bottom of the 4th.
And as we go to the bottom of the 4th, it's time for the upcoming schedule, brought to you by BSN Sports, the largest provider of team sports equipment and apparel in the country. Stay tuned immediately following this. Or no, that already happened. I lied. This is game number 2.
This is game number 2.
Check back tomorrow for game 1 at 3 o'clock against St. Joseph's. And tomorrow at noon, men's volleyball takes on Menlo, and baseball takes on Pacific at 2. And again, another doubleheader for softball at 3. Of course, men's basketball at home, 6 p.m., GCU Arena, senior day against CSU Bakersfield. Women on the road at Bakersfield. Regular season finales in the WAC for basketball before WAC Vegas on Wednesday for the women and Thursday for the men.
Women fighting for that number 2 seed with a win against Kansas City. They'll get secure that number 2 seed.
Well, Bakersfield. They win against Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
Kansas
That's right.
City. Kansas City locked in the 1 seed yesterday with a win against Utah Valley, which helps the Lopes.
It does.
A little bit there, so.
Because if Utah Valley wins and the Lopes lose, then Utah Valley will get seed.
Well, with that loss, I don't know. I think Utah Valley had to go undefeated, so they could be locked in.
They could be locked in for number 2.
Don't quote me. I don't.
We don't fully know.
I could look up the scenarios,
you
but
could look up the. You know,
maybe we will.
We have time. We have things to talk about in between innings.
Why not?
As we now have Reed up to a bat here and starting off the bottom of the fourth for the Lopes. Reed 0 for 1 so far as she grounded out back in the second, and a fielding error there on the second baseman, allowing Reed to make it safely to first. So the Lopes have the leadoff person on once again.
The second baseman, number 21, Lorianne Olson.
So now Lorianne Olson will come up to bat, and she'll take her first swing, and that one will get past the outstretched glove of Becker. So just like that, the Lopes have 2 on with no outs early on here in the bottom of the fourth. So the Lopes looking to answer those 3 runs that were given back in the top of the fourth.
All right, so this was updated since I read it yesterday.
Ooh.
Here are your seatings while we have a break.
Well,
this was actually really good timing.
This is great timing.
So they will either be the 2 or the 3.
Okay.
Kansas City has locked in the regular season championship.
Okay.
They will be the 1.
Got it.
Utah Valley receives a forfeit win from Chicago State Saturday because Chicago State canceled their games this weekend, hosting and traveling to Seattle and Utah Valley due to the coronavirus.
Ah, got it.
So Chicago State, they're your 8, men's and women's.
Yeah.
We knew that.
Yep.
Utah Valley got a win, so they don't have to play tomorrow. So they've played their final game.
Okay.
If the Lopes win, they are the 2.
Okay.
If the Lopes lose tomorrow, Utah Valley and GCU would be tied.
Okay.
And the tiebreaker comes down to the team's head-to-head record against whichever team finishes 4th. Now I know what you're wondering. Who's fighting for 4th place?
This is what I, in fact, am wondering.
I will let you know in about 4 seconds.
Okay.
It'll be a little bit longer, but
Well, while you let me know, I'll tell you that Mickey Cavarubio is up to bat, looking for her first hit of the night as she grounded out to Becker back in the second. And she bunts that first one and ends up hitting off of her leg. So it'll be strike number 1, so her count will go 0-1 here. Have I talked long enough for you, Kyle?
yes. Okay, fighting for 4th.
Okay, fighting for 4th.
UTRGV / New Mexico State.
Okay.
The Lopes split with both those teams.
Okay.
I don't know what happens if New Mexico State finishes 4, because both teams split games with New Mexico State, but Utah Valley swept UTRGV, meaning if UTRGV finishes 4th, wow, what a play.
That was a great play. Cavarubio hit that one over the head of Hood, but great work there by Canus to get that double play as she stepped on the bag at second and then threw it to Sellers as we take another look at that. So you see it bounce over the head and then out 1 and out 2. Great work by Sellers getting that catch and keeping her foot on the bag.
Absolutely. Last point.
Yes.
So I can finish it.
Yes, please do.
If UTRGV finishes 4th, Utah Valley is going to be the 2 because they swept UTRGV and the Lopes split games with UTRGV. So really, it just comes down to win tomorrow and you're the 2.
Win tomorrow and you're 2.
And you play Wednesday at 6.
Wednesday
30.
at 6:30.
I should have kept the article up and remembered.
It's okay.
If they finish 3rd, they play Wednesday at like 8:30.
Okay, and that one.
That's a fair ball.
Nicoletti hit, and it will be considered a fair ball as it rolled down into the wall and the left field corner. So the Lopes will get 1 across in Reed and then a double there for Nicoletti. A great piece of hitting, just able to keep that ball fair long enough.
I knew that one was fair. It was close, but I knew it was fair.
Very close, but it was definitely fair. And that will bring Savannah Torville up to bat, looking for her first hit of the night still.
Maybe her first home run of the season.
Ooh,
We've already seen Holland's first.
Holland's first home run. Just anything's possible.
I've spoken it into existence. Let's see if it happens.
Kyle Borg has spoken it into existence. And that one will be hit. Oh, so close, but a great hit nonetheless, as it will go all the way to the warning track on the left field line. So not a home run, but she does get her first hit in a stand-up double and will bring Nicoletti into score. So again, Lopes putting up 2 with 2 outs, so a little bit of a 2-out rally as it's now a 9-6 game, so Lopes creeping in there.
All right, I didn't have a lot of hope for that one to get over the wall, but it looked like it might stay up just long enough.
Just long enough. Hey, but it was still
Just
great.
get over the wall. A home run's a home run. I just
It
needed
doesn't matter by how much.
I thought I did it. That would have been great.
That would have. No, that would have been.
Oh, drop the mic, walk away. My night's over.
But please don't.
Oh, a
leave
new
me.
pitcher.
Ooh, we have a new pitcher for Montana State. Excuse me, Montana Grizz.
Number 77, Ashley Ward.
Ashley Ward, the freshman from Henderson, Nevada.
She has 4 appearances and 8.65 ERA. 1 start in which she got the no decision. 5 2/3 innings pitched. 9 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, a triple, and a home run allowed, and batters are batting .346 against her.
First baseman, number 27.
So that will bring up the first baseman, number 27, Lily Bishop. As we mentioned, looking for her first hit of the night, as that one will go into the dirt for ball number 1. So Bishop ahead in her count 1-0. Bishop will hit that one and ground it to Becker, who will throw it to Sellers to record out number 3. But not before the Lopes do some damage of their own, getting 2 runs back. So now only down by 3 for this 9-6 game. And we'll have more softball and the top of the 5th right here on GCU TV.
But we already have the best student section in the whole country.
I know, but what can we do to take this thing to the next level?
Guys, I think I've got an idea.
Whoa.
Ain't gonna get better than that.
So one key component that makes the Waste Management Phoenix Open so successful is Cox Business. Over 700,000 people are going to come enjoy TPC Scottsdale, from digital TV to digital phones to security, and most importantly, that free Wi-Fi all over this property. We simply couldn't do it without a partner like Cox Business. We're grateful, we're thankful, it's a hole-in-one.
Welcome back inside the GCU softball stadium as we have game number 2 in this doubleheader against Montana. If you're just joining us, the Lopes were able to get 2 of those runs back. So in the past 2 innings, the Lopes have put up 5, but still down by 3 in this 9-6 game.
Both teams going back and forth, and at the moment, the difference is that 5-run first inning.
Yeah.
Or the Lopes would be up by 2.
Yes.
I can do math.
That is in fact math. I was trying to figure it out myself. So, as we mentioned earlier, sports management majors for a reason.
That is correct. But that 5-run first could prove to be the difference maker if Montana is able to hold on. But the Lopes, they've scored at least 1.
Yeah.
Each of the last 3 innings, so they are feeling it right now. But so is Montana.
As that hit from Becker will go between Olsen and Bishop. And once again, Kyle, the Grizz has the leadoff runner on.
First baseman, Tammy Sellers.
So Lopes still looking to get those easy 1, 2, 3 innings that they're hoping for to get them back at bat as soon as possible.
Absolutely. You want to try and get, if you've been hot as like the Lopes have, you got to try and get back to the plate as soon as you can.
As that one will be grounded to Olsen, and Olsen will throw it to Bishop. So record out number 1. So that is one of the fastest outs that we have seen so far early on in the beginning parts of the innings. Not really windy here anymore, as we can see the flag standing straight down. Still a lovely night out here.
No wind at the moment.
No wind.
Careful. You never know what could happen without the wind.
You never know.
It was blowing inwards.
That is true.
But we've seen our fair share of home runs tonight through
through
almost
both
2 games. We've seen back-to-back from UNLV on back-to-back pitches, and then Kaylee Holland.
Kaylee Holland had a great.
That thing.
That
seriously, I kind
of
of wish the net wasn't here sometimes because I want to see how far these things would go because that thing's probably almost
where like all those people are and those giant like inflatable. It's
it takes a couple of hops and it goes pretty far.
It goes over to the Grove.
You never know.
You never know.
But with the net, unless you hit one over the net, which has happened, but it's very rare.
And it's a very high net. I mean, for the safety, you know, it's
well,
good.
People have to walk. I mean, I've almost been hit on my way past it. They were taking batting practice one day 2 years ago.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, 2 steps earlier, I would have got hit.
We may not have had.
We would not have had Kyle. No.
We would not have had Kyle.
Seriously, it's like 2 steps from me, hit the sidewalk, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh goodness gracious. Well, McGrath has a 1-2 count. She just fouled that last pitch off there. Bobo at 80 pitches. As that one will be fouled and roll into the right field side. So our count will remain at 1-2. As that one is hit past the diving glove of Reed. And that will score Becker from second and allow McGrath to get to second. So as we were mentioning earlier, the Lopes getting back in with the past 2 innings, scoring 5 runs, and then the Grizz answering back every time that the Lopes have. The Lopes have scored. And so now a 10-6 game, so the Lopes down by 4. Only 1 out here in the top of the 5th with a runner still in scoring position for Montana. And that will be in to Johnson for strike number 1.
Well, men's volleyball just lost to Division II North Greenville 3-2. They were up 2-9, and North Greenville, the Division II team, the little team that could.
And that one will be hit straight back to Reed, and Reed will throw it to second to try and get that runner out as McGrath stepped off the bag, but stepped back on in time. So now 2 outs here. 1 on in scoring position, as that will bring up to bat for the Grizz Jaden. And the first pitch to Jaden is in for strike 1.
You know, Montana's been on the verge here of that 8-run rule all game long. 4 more does it. I don't think they're going to get it. I mean, there is 2 outs. But the way this one's gone, it's been crazy. 4 Lopes errors, 13 Montana hits, 2 errors for Montana. The Lopes 8 hits with 6 runs. I mean, this one could go either way at this point.
It really could.
And I think it'd be a little unfortunate now if this one ended a little early.
It definitely would, because we've seen some great playing here. I mean,
both teams really feeling
both teams doing great. It's gonna probably be a high-scoring game. I don't necessarily.
Well, 16 runs.
Yeah, there's already 16 runs scored, only in the top of the 5th. So we still got.
We could have some fireworks.
We could have some fireworks, as that one is grounded to Torville, and Torville will throw it to Bishop to record the 3rd out. So there is 1 left on at second for the Grizz, as they do get one of those runs back. So now a 4-run lead for the Grizz for a 10-6 game as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
And over at Brazil Field, your baseball team completely dismantled the University of Pacific 12-1.
Welcome to the big leagues. The Grand Canyon Beverage Company, they have a 16-ounce can of the popular energy drink, Stampede. Keep up with the herd and head to GCBC like Cheyenne did before both of the games to get yours.
I may or may not have gotten 2.
Called out.
I mean, listen.
I felt it was necessary. You got it up here in
personally attacked in the tumbler.
Tumbler, thank you. That's what it is.
The new tumbler.
Hey, you got 30 cents off your 2 drinks. So
no, I only got 15 cents off.
Between the 2, you combine the 2.
That's not how that works, because I ordered them at the same time, and I only have 1 cup.
Wait, how did you order 2 drinks at the same time?
One was in a normal cup.
Oh.
Yeah. So before the game, you go to GCBC. I got
awkward.
2 drinks, and the one that was originally in this cup.
Well,
that's a
look
cute
at him.
baby.
He's adorable.
Yeah, he's
Where is
adorable.
he? Is he in front of us? Oh, yeah, he is.
He's so cute. I can see him from here.
Good shot by our camera 2-person, Brittany.
Good job, Brittany.
Good job, Brittany. Shout out to
So
Brittany.
cute.
For GCU.
He's staying up past his bedtime.
It's past my bedtime.
Well,
I have too much homework to do.
What are you gonna do?
What you gonna do? It's fun.
You're gonna stick around because it's the bottom of the 5th.
Because it's the bottom of the 5th, and Kristen Fifield up to bat and a swing on that first pitch. Bounced over the head of Ward and unable to be fielded by McGrath. So just like that, Fifield aboard for the leadoff person for the Lopes.
And the Lopes are not ready to let up just yet, but hey,
Absolutely
don't
not.
pitch Kaylee Holland inside. That is my tip to you,
Or
Ashley Ward. Or do it.
Or do it.
I mean,
do it.
being completely impartial here, don't do it. Being completely partial, throw her inside.
Being completely impartial, maybe you shouldn't. Like, we'll leave that choice to you. I necessarily...
Don't miss one. Let's
Don't-
just say
just
that.
don't-
Don't hang one.
Yeah, you know, it's fine.
Like that.
Like
Oh,
that, but a big swing on a miss there
that was the one.
by Holland. It was just a little...
She knows it, too.
She does. So Holland's count is a 0-2 count, so no balls and 2 strikes.
Not gonna lie, the off speed definitely fooled me on that one too.
Yeah, me as well, as that one will be low, so it'll bring her count to 1-2. As we saw last time, Holland was at bat. Kyle, would you like to tell everyone what happened?
I think it was a home run.
You think? Yeah, I think it was maybe
Big
scored 3
one.
runs, as that one will get 2 outs in that double play. As off the bat of Holland straight to the second baseman. So now the Lopes have 2 outs despite getting the leadoff runner.
Olivia Zufel.
And that first pitch there to Olivia Zufelt will be fouled back, so her count will move to 0-1. And that one by Zufel will be hit to Canoes and thrown to Sellers to record the 3rd out. So a very quick 1, 2, 3 there for the Lopes, despite getting Fifield on. And that will do it here in the bottom of the 5th for a 10-6 game as the Grizz still leads it by 4. You'll have more softball in the top of the 6th right here on GCU TV.
When my hot water heater failed, she was pregnant, in-laws were coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
We called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today. Canyon State Credit Union, a local credit union serving the Valley for over 65 years, can assist you in buying your first home, refinancing your current home, or if you're dreaming of a retirement home. Canyon State Credit Union can provide you with a fast and affordable solution that meets your needs. Let Canyon State Credit Union run the numbers on your dream. Visit canyonstatecu.org or call 623-580-6015 for more information. Canyon State Credit Union, committed to you. We do business in accordance with the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, MLS number 410376.
Softball stadium for the first time in 3 innings. Oh, hey guys, we have some.
You weren't supposed to do it.
It's fine.
Who put them on the camera?
What? Some of the GCU TV crew.
I can see you.
I can see you, Jack. We can see. Okay.
I would not have put them on the camera.
It's yeah.
I haven't been on camera yet today. I don't think they deserve to be on camera.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Aaron, put me on camera.
And that first pitch there to Canoes will be hit in the right center hole as it rolls back to the wall for a stand-up double for Canoes. So we just saw some of the GCU TV crew chilling here at the softball game. There we go. And there's Kyle. Kyle now feels better.
Cheyenne, slide over here.
Hey, I don't know.
Keep going. You got to keep going. There she is.
Hey.
There it is.
There we go. Now do you feel better, Kyle?
Yeah, I feel great.
Okay. As long as Kyle feels better.
I had to get on screen one time.
That is very true. So Canoes is standing at second. And that first pitch in there to be ball number 1. And GCU has a new pitcher on the mound in Ryan Denhart. Good, haven't seen Denhart here yet today. Nice to see her out in the circle.
2 for 3 on the season. 8 starts, 11 total appearances, 5.82 ERA, and 43 1/3 innings pitched. 52 hits, 15 walks, 29 strikeouts, 291 opponent batting average, 36 runs allowed, 28 of those have been earned.
And the first 2 pitches there to Wisegram are ball 1 and 2, as she'll swing on that one and go straight to Bishop, and she'll step on the bag to get out number 1, but it will allow Canoes to advance to third.
Right fielder, Julie Phelps.
And that will bring up Julie Phelps.
She's 2 for 3 today. The freshman.
And an RBI back in the first.
2 singles.
Yeah, 1 strikeout back in the third. Hopes have gotten 1 out here in the top of the 6th. And that first pitch in to Phelps. It's ball number 1. Canoes standing on third now. And that one just outside for ball number 2. So a 2-0 count here to Phelps. And Grays have 1 on in scoring position and 1 out here in the top of the 6th. The Grays have only gone scoreless in 1 inning so far, and that was all the way back in the 2nd.
And they are threatening with a runner 60 feet from scoring.
Got 5 back in the first. Got 3 back in the 4th. And scored in, as I mentioned, every inning but the 2nd. As that one fell back, so now a 2-2 count here to Phelps. And that biggest difference so far, Kyle, is that 5 runs put up back in the first. Because otherwise the Lopes would be up by 1 right now if it wasn't for those 5 runs. I mathed real quickly. I'm very proud of myself. As that one is hit straight to Denhart. She looks back at the runner on third, but the runner stops and holds up and stays at third and is able to record the out at second. So now 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Left fielder, Anne-Marie Petrino.
So now Petrano bat for Montana. First ball into her is ball number 1. Wind picking up a little bit as we now see the flag moving just a teeny tiny bit. Not laying down as flat as it was in the last inning. And that pitch from Denhart in for strike number 1. So evens up Petrone's count at 1-1. And that pitch from Denhart in for ball number 2. So a 2-1 count here to Petrone. So a 2-1 with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position on third in Canoes. And that will be called ball 3, so a 3-1 count. Lopes fans not too happy about that one. But a 3-1 count here to Petrone. And she'll chop that one to Olsen, and who will throw it to Bishop to record out number 3. So for the first time since the second, the Grizz will not plate a run, so the score will stay at 10-6 despite having a runner threatening in scoring position as we head now to the bottom of the 6th.
The Drowsy Chaperone is the latest from the College of Fine Arts and Production, featuring explosive twists and turns. This hilarious comedy opens with a theater fanatic listening to his favorite cast album that comes to life before his eyes.
Magical.
It all begins March the 20th at Etherington Theater. Get your tickets now before they're gone.
Before they're gone.
Before they're gone.
But
playing the 20th through the 22nd and the 27th through the 29th. And students,
you can
free ticket.
Yep, with
GCU
your ID.
ID. Don't forget it.
It's right after my birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Early, because I'll forget.
Because you'll forget. My birthday's on a Thursday this year.
That's
different.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I have a 7 a.m. that day too.
Don't go.
Yeah, it's accounting.
Oof.
Yeah.
Big oof.
Yeah, big oof.
Don't go.
Yeah, we'll see. I should be a good student.
It's your birthday.
Yeah. I've had so many of them.
We support going to class, though.
You should always go to class.
Unless it's your birthday. It's a 7 a.m. because I wake up at 7 a.m. every other day. And you might as well sleep on your birthday.
Yeah, we'll see.
One day. You get one. That's it.
Yeah.
Stay in school.
And on that note, Jaden Reed up to bat here for the Lopes. The first pitch in to Reed. Was a strike, so her count will be 0-1. That ball is in for ball number 1, so 1-1 count here. And she'll chop that one up directly in front of home plate, and it'll bounce high, and it will not be able to make a play. So Lopes getting the leadoff person on here.
So now with that hit, it's just Bishop, Zufelt, and Cavarubio who do not have a hit for the Lopes. Today, Nicoletti 3 for 3, Torville 1 for 3, Fifield 1 for 3, Holland 2 for 3, Reed's now 1 for 3, Olsen 2 singles, she's 2 for 2.
And her first single had an RBI attached to it.
Yes, it did. Back in the second.
Back in the second.
The lone Lopes run.
Lone Lopes run back in the second.
Well, yes.
Yeah. The Lopes now have 6. They have a little
They've
bit
scored
of work
5
to do.
cents.
Yeah, they have scored 5 cents. Have a little bit of work to do, down by 4.
So last time the Lopes were up, it was their first time since the first not scoring a run. And the top of this inning was...
And that will be fair, as it'll go right past the first base, and it'll roll foul into the corner. And that will be a triple there for Olsen. And as we mentioned before, Kyle, her last hit had an RBI attached to it. This one as well will have an RBI attached to it, bringing in Reed from first.
Well, now we're going to talk things over. That one was another close one for the
Yeah, it
Lobes.
was.
Another call went their way on that fair ball. It certainly looked fair from here, and it's an RBI triple at the moment as it stands. But as I was saying before that, beautiful hit. In the top of the sixth, that was the first time since the second, like you mentioned, that Montana went scoreless. But at the moment, the Lopes going to have at least one here in this inning.
A 7-10 game with no outs.
And they are going to call it back. That is something you do not see every day, ladies and gentlemen.
Now
Coach Pearson will have a word.
Going to have a few words, I'm sure, for the home plate umpire. So,
wait, did they call it back again? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. It still stands. Okay.
It stands as it being taken back.
It stands as it, yeah, as it's
yes,
a
it
foul
stands
ball.
as it being a foul ball.
As soon as we get a chance, we're going to go ahead and take a look
We're going
at
to try and
that.
find a replay of that.
When we get the opportunity.
But so, Reed is back on first. And Coach Pearson again talking to the home plate umpire. Just for some clarification on what the count is, it's a 2-1 count.
2-1, yes, that is correct.
Yes, so a 2-1 count here for Olsen.
And now I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, as that will be strike number 2, so now a 2-2 count.
Okay, we have this replay.
This replay here.
Let's see if we can tell. Oh my.
That was
dangerously close.
Yeah, because it has to get
over the base.
Over the base. And
oh,
that's almost too close to really tell there. So now, still a 2-2 count here. So still a 2-2 count here for Olsen. As she fouled that one down the first base side. And that one will be outside. So that'll bring Olsen's count to a full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Reed still standing on first after that what would have been a triple overturned. And that one will be hit straight up the middle and past the diving glove of the shortstop. So
I guess she'll take a single.
Olsen will, yeah, she'll still be 3 for 3, which is nice. Not as nice as that triple and that RBI brought in. But, you know, as we've talked about all night, you can't change the score with one swing at the bat. So,
well, unless you're down by like 1 and you score 2 on a home run, you never know. You could.
You never know. You
but
could,
not at this
but
point.
not in this
Not
point
yet.
in time.
Get one more person on base for Nicoletti, and then a home run ties this thing up.
That's true, and that ball will get down in the dirt in between the legs of Jaden, but able to keep the runners at bay. So the Lopes have no outs with 2 on, as Covarubio is up about. She's 0 for 2, as she grounded out back in the 5th and was out on a 4-3 double play in the 4th. And she'll chop that one to first, and they will get the out at 3rd, but will have Covarubio reach safely to first with that ground ball. So
it's a good throw.
That was
gutsy
a
throw.
good
That's a gutsy play.
It is.
Throwing across the diamond to try and get the lead runner. Now, her foot wasn't on the base, so a good thing she decided to apply the tag. She did have the force.
She did.
But that's a 1 out, and now double play here gets you out of the inning.
And
so that call, big momentum shifter.
Absolutely. Especially after you if you're the Lopes, you had that momentum and that 1 run added.
Now you're trying to get it back.
Trying to get it back. And Montana being like, okay, well, we can stop that. And then that one will get over the head and past the glove of the running second baseman. And so just like that, we will have 2 Lopes coming across. Excuse me, we'll have 1 Lope coming across as Torville now up to bat. And the Lopes still with one out and 2 on, still having a runner in scoring position. And that will bring up the coach for Montana talking to her pitcher here. And we will see a new pitcher here for the Grizz. And so it
Montana, number 11, Tristan Achenbach.
it'll be Tristan Achenbach, who threw back in Montana's first game earlier this morning against St. Joseph's. They won that game earlier. Lopes now down by 3. So a 7-10 game. Montana still up. Still that big deciding factor is that 5 runs that was put up back in the first, but since then the Lopes been putting in work and chipping away at that lead. They held the Grizz scoreless back in the top of the 6th.
So on the season, Achenbach, 3.80 ERA. She's 6-6 with 14 appearances, 9 starts, 4 complete games, 1 save, 66 innings pitched, 69 hits, 35 runs, 29 earned, 20 walks, and 66 strikeouts. And opponents batting .272 against her.
So Torville doubled her last time up, brought in a run back in the 4th. Other than that, she got out on that double play in the 1st and then got on with an error back in the 3rd.
So Achenbach's already thrown 7 innings today. She went the distance in a 5-1 victory. Like we mentioned, she gave up 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 2 walks, struck out 6. Faced 28 batters through 118 pitches.
Wow, that's impressive to see her back out here after that, put in that work earlier. And hoping to do the same thing for her team here. As that pitch will be fouled back off Torville's helmet.
She wanted that one.
She did. But her count will remain at 1-2 as she's keeping herself alive there.
One swing of the bat here really changes the game. Could tie it.
Could tie it.
Would not be surprised.
As you mentioned earlier, Torville looking for her first home run of the season. Had her first hit of this game. And that one will be caught by Chaperone.
That's the second time she's had one of those
right there
line
in the same
shots.
spot. If it was just a little bit.
That one was a little bit higher than the last one.
That one was a little bit higher. So you know what that means.
The next one's going over.
The next one has to go over because it was like right at the ground. That one was like.
That's just logic.
Logically and statistically, Scientifically. We're scientific here at GCU TV.
Yeah. Let's say yes, I am.
And so the Lopes now have 2 outs with 2 on, as that first pitch into Bishop will be ball number 1. Lopes have Cavarubio standing at second and Nicoletti standing at first. And now a 2-2 count here to Bishop. Bishop still looking for her first hit of the night. She was walked back in the first. And then line drive there into the 3rd and grounded out in the 4th as she will hit that one foul That one will be called foul, so the runners will go back to their bases, and Bishop will come back to the plate. So Bishop with a 2-1 count here, 2 outs and 2 on for the Lopes. And Bishop will foul that one back into the netting. So a 2-2 count. And she will foul that one into the stands over the bullpen on the right field side. So runners will retreat back to their bases as Bishop is doing a great job of keeping herself alive here, Kyle.
That she is. That she is, Cheyenne.
So her count will remain at 2-2. So we have 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And a big swing on a miss there by Bishop. So the Lopes get one more crossed after that triple taken away there from Olsen. But nonetheless, the Lopes will get one more on added to their score. So now a 10-7 game. And we'll have the top of the 7th and more softball right here on GCU TV.
One more member on our roster. Streets of New York is proud to announce Grand Canyon University to our winning team. We are now the official pizza of GCU. Go Lopes.
Across the green desert to where the mountains touch the sky. This is Sanderson Ford country, where Arizona's pride. Sanderson Ford country, built on serving you. Sanderson Ford, satisfaction in everything we do. We're Arizona's pride. Sanderson Ford.
Sanford.
And we are back inside the GCU softball stadium for the last game of Friday night here in the Lopes Up Classic. Game number 2 here for Lopes. Lopes down by 3. Have done some great work to come back after that 5-run deficit to start the first. Have only gone scoreless in 2 innings, the first being one of them, and then back in the bottom of the 5th. And that first pitch from Denhart in for ball number 1 to Becker. Becker
1 for 2.
It was 1 for 2.
Single, a 2-run score, a walk, sac fly. She's done it all.
That she has. And she's very fast.
Yes, yes she is.
So that's a
Beautiful.
big swing on and miss there. Nice pitch there from Denhart. So a 1-1 count here.
Looked a little off speed.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure that was a complete fastball, possibly a changeup.
The possibilities are slightly endless.
Well,
I said
at some
slightly.
point they end.
I said slightly endless. And that one fell back, so now a 1-2 count. Kyle getting ready to catch it.
One of these days, I'm going to get one. I can feel it. One of these days. It's going to take a weird hop, bounce in here, and I'll be like, I got it. Or I won't be ready for it, and it'll hit me in the head. One of the two.
Either way, Kyle's going to
Kyle is getting a softball one way or another.
One way or another. That pitch from Denhart. High and up, so a 2-2 count here for Becker. Kyle's either going to get hit in the head.
Only time will tell.
Either going to get hit in the head with a
Stay
softball.
tuned.
Stay tuned for all of the GCU softball games to find out if
Looney Tunes.
If Kyle gets either hit in the head or makes a great diving play to protect the camera.
Could be a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. That one down and outside. So
I don't have that fast of reflexes. I can't scoot out.
It's that
jump up.
It's that fight or flight response, you know, Kyle?
Yeah, but I can't get out of my seat and then knock over stuff over on your side and then save the camera.
That's true.
It's a lot of effort over there, Cheyenne. I don't know. It's after 9 o'clock. I don't.
And it's 9:33.
9:33. See, I don't think I can do that at 9:33.
If it was the first game, I have more faith in you.
Yeah, still, I don't know.
I don't know. So hey,
long day of class.
And that's very true. So
Come
a
on.
3-2 count here.
We have fun.
Becker keeping herself alive here after that one, fouled back into the netting.
We have fun.
We have fun. We
We're
have
friends at the field night. It's fun. Come on.
That was earlier.
It's still friends at the field. I
No,
still
they-
have the shoes on, okay? Also, that's reference number 7, so.
I don't. Okay. And that pitch hit and then popped up into the netting over to the right field dugout side. I get none of these references, Kyle. I've never seen Friends.
Well, no, I have the shoes.
Well, I know you have the shoes.
That's what the reference was. It's technically
okay.
a reference.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I was put on this game on purpose.
We need an office game. Like an office
No,
themed
there it
game.
is. Go talk to marketing.
I will. I will get all of the references and
All
make
of the
all
references.
All of the references.
All of the 3-2 pitches.
All of the 3-2 pitches.
Literally,
As that
'cause
one-
here comes
all of
another.
them, as that one is fouled into the stands back towards the top of the rows there. So a nice work here by Becker, keeping herself alive. And that one hit straight to Olsen, who will field it to Bishop to get out number 1. So that is the first time that the leadoff person has not gotten on for the Grizz. So that will bring up Sellers to the plate. Sellers 0 for 3 on the night. She was walked back in the first inning. And then grounded out in the 3rd and 5th. And that will be called ball 1 for Sellers. So 1-0 count here with 1 out and nobody on in the top of the 2nd for the Grizz. And that one fell back into the seats on the 3rd base side. Ball was got by a couple of kids standing over there playing down on that side of.
Playing. They were fighting for that one.
They were fighting for that one. But before they were playing and they were really cute. And then the ball came over and they all wanted it. So now a 1-1 count here. 2 Sellers. So that one is chopped straight to Denhart and thrown to Bishop for out number 2. So Lopes 1 out away from their first 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 2nd. And then the Lopes will send Fifield, Holland, and Zufelt to the plate in hopes of getting at least 3 more runs to tie the game in the bottom of the 7th. And 4 would give them the lead in walk-off fashion.
There's only one way to find out.
And would that be staying here on GCU TV? And that one
1, 2, 3.
popped up and caught by Fifield. So for the first time in the game, a 1-2-3 inning for the Lopes. So the Lopes up at bat trying to come back in walk-off fashion here, needing 3 runs to tie it and 4 to win this game here.
If you're visiting campus this spring, why not stay at the GCU Hotel, featuring comfortable rooms, a resort-style pool, and the Canyon 49 Grill. It's the perfect place to stay when coming to GCU. Book a room today at gcuhotel.com. $79 per night, starting at what rates?
That's a great rate. And if you're staying here to come visit family and visit your students, maybe?
Maybe.
Come
Spring
catch some
breaks coming up.
Spring breaks coming up. Coming to catch some sporting games.
Spring training.
Spring training games. We have more GCU softball. We have more
late
GCU
that
baseball.
week. What? Let's see. GCU softball. I know that week they.
There's another.
Yeah, they go into the weekend and
Yeah,
then
they have that tournament.
they have a couple days off because it is spring break. But they're back at it against Kansas City on the 20th with a doubleheader and a game on the 21st against the Roos as well.
Yeah, that first conference game, right?
Leading off the bottom
Absolutely.
You gotta get ready for that.
The shortstop.
So here in the bottom of the 7th,
Byfield.
the leadoff person for the Lope is Kristen Fifield. 1 for 3. Got a single her last time at bat back in the 5th. And the first pitch to Fifield in for strike number 1. That one high and outside, so evening up her count at 1-1. Lopes need at least 3 if they want to keep playing, or 4 if they want to win and walk off. That one outside for ball number 2, so a 2-1 count here to Fifield. And that will be ball number 3 as it got away from Jaden and rolled back to the wall. So a 3-1 count. And that one hit by Fifield, but foul as it rolls into the left field corner. It was a nice swing there though, Kyle.
Yes, it was.
And so her count will go to 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that will be ball 4. So the first person on board here for the Lopes will be walked. So the Lopes get the leadoff person on. And that will bring up Kaylee Holland.
Your catcher, number 12, Kaylee Holland.
So Kaylee Holland up to bat. Had a home run back in the 3rd. She will pop that one up to Wisegrave in center. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, 1 on. And the Lopes will have a pinch hitter here in Brooke Cantillo. Pitch hitting for Olivia Zufelt.
Pinch hitting for GCU, number 9, Brooke Cantillo.
Brooke Cantillo came in to pinch hit back in the UNLV game as well. And that will be called strike 1 on Cantillo. So an 0-1 count here. And that will be ball 1, so evening up her count at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 runner on. That one will be hit by Cantillo, and it'll be foul as it rolls into the left field corner. So Cantillo will come back to the plate. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here for Cantillo. That one will be high, so it'll bring it to a full count of 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. and that one will be chopped straight there to the pitcher, who will get the out of the leadoff runner at second, but Cantillo will be safe at first. And the Lopes will have a pinch runner in Rachel Hammonds. So the Lopes down to their final out.
Pinch runner for GCU,
Still needing
now at first base, number 14,
to get at least 3 runs here.
Now batting for GCU, the right fielder, number 4, Jaden Reed.
So Jaden Reed up to bat here. 1 for 3 on the night. And grounded out in the second. And they got on an error back in the 4th and had a single back in the 6th as the big swing and miss on there for strike number 1. So a 1-0 count, excuse me, an 0-1 count here with 2 outs and a runner on, as Reed will foul that one back. So down to her last strike, so an 0-2 count. And she'll chop that one to third, and it'll be thrown across to first in time to report out number 3. So the Lopes will leave one on. And despite a great performance, Kyle, by the Lopes, will lose it 7-10, but the Lopes came fighting back after that first inning, coming down by 5. So,
yeah, the Lopes, great. It was a better second game from GCU, that 5-run first. Really the difference maker. I mean, Montana came out ready to swing the bat and score some runs, and they did that, but the Lopes answered throughout the middle courses of this inning, or of the game, excuse me, in the middle innings. And then Ryan Denhart came in. She only allowed 1 hit in her relief appearance of Brianna Aguilar, who had a good first start. Take away the first inning? Great first start, but still a good first start from Aguilar. We'll see what's in store for the Lopes tomorrow.
Yep, and thanks for watching the Lopes Up Classic. The Lopes take on St. Joseph and Montana tomorrow. First game starts at 3 p.m. Be sure to tune in into GCU TV to catch all the action. Be sure to follow Grand Canyon University on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GCU. For Kyle Borg, I'm Cheyenne Rose, and for all of the GCU TV crew, have a great night and go Lopes.